First tonight, we are following breaking news out of our state capitol. One of the state's most powerful Republicans faces impeachment. Thanks for joining us tonight at 9. I'm Britt Moreno.
And I'm Daniel Marin. In a unanimous decision, a Republican-led House investigative committee recommended impeaching the state's top lawyer on 20 articles. Our Ryan Chandler is at the state capitol with the latest action on the House floor tonight regarding Attorney General Ken Paxton.
Well, Daniel, Bree, this has truly been a shocking, historic day at the Texas Capitol. Just in the last 30 minutes, all members of the Texas House of Representatives got a copy of the articles of impeachment that they intend to vote on this weekend. That could come tomorrow, it couldn't come Saturday, but right now the numbers are not looking great for Attorney General Ken Paxton. Let's talk about the numbers real quick because it is some tough math for our state's top law enforcement official. There are 149 members of the House of Representatives. It takes just a simple majority to impeach a statewide official, and there are 64 Democrats. So that means only about 11 Republicans need to vote in favor to impeach Ken Paxton. And what we're hearing from members, both Republican and Democrat, on the floor tonight is that they will get far more than that. Both parties are arguing that they believe Ken Paxton's legal troubles have been a stain on Texas government. Meanwhile, today, one of his deputies showed up at the investigative hearing today to argue this is all unjust. Listen to what they had to say.
Well, I will tell you that if I was part of the Republican Party, I would have been screaming from the mountaintops that people like Brian Slayton and people like Attorney General Ken Paxton are ruining our brand. They're the latest in a series of scandals, politicians, and people that seem to be staining the GOP brand.
Neither the Texas nor the United States constitutions would permit any sort of proceeding against anybody based on what we heard yesterday. It does not meet any standard of admissibility or rules of evidence.
Now, the Texas Attorney General is also out with his own statement tonight. He accuses the Texas House of trying to usurp the will of the voters. Keep in mind, he just won by 10 percentage points in November, beating out 3 Republican primary opponents before that. So he is very popular among at least Republican primary voters, and he is trying to make his case for why their support should mean he should stay in office tonight. But we'll be following this very closely through the weekend as the House gets closer to impeachment.
Ryan Chandler, thank you. An unprecedented time for us here in Texas as we continue to follow this story. Now, to add a little context here for you, Ken Paxton remains under indictment for securities fraud charges. The indictment came down in 2015. The case is out of Collin County in the Dallas area. It has been delayed and moved to Houston. Then it went back to Dallas. He has entered a not guilty plea and faces 5 to 99 years in prison if convicted. The indictments accuse Paxton of defrauding investors in a Dallas area tech startup by not disclosing he was being paid by the company to recruit them.
Now, jumping back to the impeachment, much of what the attorneys presented to the investigating committee has to do with Paxton's relationship with Austin real estate developer Nate Paul. The attorneys claim that evidence shows Paxton gave Paul special favors in return for high-dollar campaign contributions and undisclosed gifts.
We want to know what the next steps are, so we wanted to share what the Texas Constitution is saying on all this. It expands a little bit about what Ryan was suggesting. With the articles of impeachment recommended to the full House, only 2/3 on all 150 members need to be present for a quorum. And to actually vote to impeach, a simple majority will do. Sine die does not matter. The House can do this after session ends and convene itself for impeachment purposes. The rules differ somewhat when it gets to the Senate for a trial, but it is important to point out if and when the House impeaches a Texas government official, that official is required to leave office during the trial. The governor appoints a fill-in. The Senate would still have to try the impeachment, and a conviction would bar that official from ever holding office again.
And our political team spoke to a politics professor from the University of Houston about tonight's developments. He told us politicians are more likely to survive scandals in this now more partisan era of politics.
There's certainly a Trump playbook here that Ken Paxton's running. It's deny and then to deflect. It's common, and actually we see this a lot of different political scandals. So since Watergate, really, we've seen more and more scandals that have emerged that have allowed for politicians to try to use the partisanship that's inherent in the system and deflect some of these charges.
And the professor added, in some ways, the scandals can even help candidates with their base support and also with fundraising. We will continue to follow the latest developments tied to the Texas Attorney General's possible impeachment. Online right now, you can read Paxton's full statement and also take a closer look at the charges brought against him. That is at KXAN.com.